Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, though you don't know what the hell you are yet. Hopalong PR here, and this is On Point, where I am anything but. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't know what the hell you are yet. Hopalong PR here, and today we're doing a slightly different approach to On Point. I'm going to try to be serious this entire time. Now, first of all, what you guys may be confused about or asking what the hell I mean by member berries or eating your member berries, I'm going to be labeling the mindset that things were better back in the day because they have, rose-tinted glasses of nostalgia on. That mindset is what I'm going to be calling member berries. Alright, now first on the member berry train, let me talk about the wave of reboots and reimagining that's been happening all across the board. First, I'm going to be using a show that did a reboot for the old franchise, the old story, and for the old audience, comparing to a reboot that's just repurposing the IPs. I'll be using the episodes of the Samurai Jack reboot as an example as an honest reboot. The episodes were still following the same story as the old episodes. It continued on that way down the line in time, and it showed Jack aged and how his character has changed over time. That reboot was a reboot of the original show for the original audience. It tackled darker themes because, as a member of the everyday audience, we've grown up. I can attest to that. On the other hand, we have a reboot that's essentially just repurposing an IP for a new audience and making a new show. While there are several cases I could make on that, I'm going to be using Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go was a reboot aimed at a completely different audience. See, here's where people member berries kind of get to them, because they remember the old school Teen Titans and wanted something in the same vein, which from the get-go was bad, because here's a comparison of the old Teen Titans to the new Teen Titans. Right away, you should be able to tell that these shows will not have much in common aside from the recognizable characters. Teen Titans Go is aimed for more being funny than it was thrilling, so they use the old IPs to get attention, but it's a completely new show, and people need to realize that the two shows should not be compared to each other. Now, I've seen some episodes of Teen Titans Go, and to be honest, they weren't terrible. I actually enjoyed an episode or two. Now, here's where they decide to mess with people's member berries in detail. They have not only one, but several episodes that use Teen Titans Go to not only acknowledge that the past was canon and that the past was cooler, but they also say that they'll never be that cool again and people should just get on with their lives. They shouldn't have acknowledged the past in the first place unless they wanted to piss off their older audience. And why would you want to piss off your older audience? Oh wait, they have a new audience. They don't need the old audience anymore. That's right. Now that's just one case of rebooting an old IP just for the money and while it's a safe topic. Now we're moving on for that. I just want to say that people who want to do that, the creators that want to do that, it's just sad, really. Instead of trying to bring back an old IP from the dead or keep one that's barely alive, they should be looking forward to making new content. The original shows only existed because someone or a group of people wanted to make something new, wanted to make something awesome, wanted to make something that had never been seen before. They were innovators. Innovators today are a rare commodity because innovators are not focused about the past, but they're focused more on the future. Do you have any idea how frustrating it would be to run a 5K backwards? Well, that's what happens to people when they eat their member berries. If you're so caught up on looking back at your past, it's no surprise that your present sucks because you're not looking towards your future. And the problem is that people are eating more and more member berries and it's starting to become ingrained in our society. But that can change. Let me throw this out there for all of you. Where did you hear about all this stuff from back in the day? Or rather, how people are trying to say how stuff back in their day was better? More likely than not, it was from the media. Now, while the media is in a currently sad state and there are several things that is just inherently wrong with it, let's focus on the propaganda it's trying to spread. Instead of telling the news that they need to, they're telling news stories that are popular and are essentially clickbait. Have you ever heard of the TPP? Or rather, have you heard of it in details? Probably not, because they don't want to tell about that in full detail because it's not popular. And moreover, people wouldn't get it. There are far more unimportant stories that people will watch because it's in their realm of understanding and within their realm to pass judgment on. And to pass judgment on something, you need to have an experience with something of a similar nature or of a trend, which leads to, oh, back when so-and-so was in charge, or back before blah blah blah. You get the idea. Because they want to focus on how things were back then, which is wrong because we're in a new day and age. Much like rebooting an old IP, expecting the same audience to, watch, like Teen Titans Go, it's a bad idea. We need to move onward. We need to suggest new solutions to our new problems. Relying on anything that worked back in the day or used to work back in the day is going to be sorely out of place in the new world. Because we as society have evolved into something bigger, something larger, something more connected, and something that's not easily as controlled. Now here's where today's culture comes into play. Part of the reason why people like to think that everything was better back in the day is because we are now more aware of our surroundings, and with more aware of surroundings and the interconnectivity of our society, we know about the stuff going on that would have been swept under the rug all these years back. Because a handful of people want to produce the truth and want to look forward. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever considered the vast amount of data in YouTube and Facebook that they get daily? Now here, let me throw some numbers at you. Okay, let's all agree that's far too big of a number to comprehend. But you get the idea of how active people are. Now, while most of that might be complete crap, there are a few people out there that want us to look forward to the future. They're trying to innovate in some way, shape, or form. They want to get people ahead on what's going on and want people on board for what's coming ahead. In a worldwide society where stagnancy is commonplace, let me ask you this question. What's the last thing that you did for your future? We get so lulled in to remembering about things that we did back in the day that we tend to lose sight of looking forward to our future. Hell, we use our smartphones to look at pictures of stuff that we did back in the day, which smartphones, an invaluable source if you want to learn anything. In the digital age, ignorance is a choice. But we would rather use these mostly to remember the past and not go learning, not go on adventures in life. So instead of reading an article on Facebook about how badass games used to be or retro games are better, start suggesting new ways to make games better. Because people need to move forward. New suggestions will come about and maybe, hopefully, bring about change if people are willing to listen. Because if we just keep on focusing on the past, nothing will change. The change that we need and the change that member berries hinder. Alright, so that's enough of me and my speech. If you're still here, thank you so much for listening to what I've had to say. I am really grateful that you stuck around. And if you have anything that you want to say, if you have different views on what I have to say on these topics, or anything that you want to add to the conversation, by all means, make some comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for being weird.